Hi, hello, I'm Sam Harrison and I read, review and discuss fantasy and science fiction books. Today we have a discussion because it is the weekly recap for the first week of January, which is currently the 5th of January, weekly recap for the 5th of January. What we're going to do today is we're going to talk about what I have been reading. We're going to talk about what I'm going to read. We're then going to talk about videos that have gone up on the channel this week, videos that are going to be going up next week, and then after that, we'll talk a little bit about other stuff that I've been enjoying, if there is anything else to bring up. So, first off, what have I been reading? So, last week, I'm pretty certain that I had just finished Harbinger of Justice when I recorded the December recap. I probably didn't talk too much about it, simply because the review was coming on Monday, but I really enjoyed Harbinger of Justice. My overriding feeling when finishing it was one of jealousy, because Andrew is fantastic at his YouTube videos. I think his booktube videos, in particular, are some of the best produced, best looking videos on the platform about fantasy and sci-fi books. And if you look at the huge creators with millions and millions of subscribers, people like Matt Diavella, for example, Andrew is putting out videos of that sort of quality about fantasy and sci-fi books, which is I'm insanely jealous of. Also, I'm jealous because he's finished writing a book, and the book that he's finished was really good. So, watch the review that I've put up for Harbinger of Justice. It's going to be I'll put the review in the video description just below the like button, so click the like on your way down there. And I will be chatting with Andrew this weekend. We're gonna have like a full spoiler discussion / interview / kind of just general chinwag. A lot of booktubers have as kind of their main thing on their channel a like podcast style discussion with other booktubers. And I'm not saying that I'm not gonna do that, because honestly, I'd love to chat with other booktubers. And that's a great way to, make connections, make friends, etc. And have more people in the community to talk about books. But also, I would like to do that with authors as well. So that's why I've got Andrew coming on, Bradley P. Beaulieu, Beaulieu, I'm not going to pronounce it wrong anymore, Beaulieu, who wrote The Dragons of Deepwood Fen, he and I have been chatting on Twitter, and he said that he would possibly like to come on later in the year. So, it's really good. And also I think Philip Chase said something similar. Anyway, so that's a long way of saying Harbinger of Justice was very good. After Harbinger of Justice, I read Red Rising. Review for this also already on the channel, because I have much less of a head start than I was having late last year. But really, really enjoyed Red Rising more than I enjoyed it the first time round. So I read this once in 2017, and I thought that it was good, not great. And I went straight into Golden Sun, and I DNF Golden Sun, I don't know, like 20 or 30% in. Whereas I loved Red Rising, and I'm really looking forward to Golden Sun, especially to see if as I've matured as a reader, enjoy it more on the second attempt. After Red Rising, I started the big project, the thing we've been talking about basically since I started the channel, which is The Wheel of Time. I started Otherworld with this special hardback edition that my wife got me for Christmas, and this is actually the edition I've been reading most of the time. I do own Otherworld in paperback, and I do also own it as an audiobook and as an ebook, but I have been reading actually 90% physical. I think I've read a couple of chapters of the ebook while on the train, basically. But I am 20 chapters in now, so I'm almost at the halfway point. My target originally was to read 100 pages a day, and it's been very up and down in that I started this on the 1st of January, and I only read like 2 chapters because I was quite tired and quite hungover. And then the next day I read like 120 pages, and then the next day after that I didn't get much reading done because I was hanging out with my wife. So it's been really up and down. Yesterday I think I read almost 150 pages. Well, that's probably wrong. I read at least 100 pages yesterday. So I'm hoping to do the same today. And if I wanted to be on track, I'd need to read 220 pages today, which I don't think is going to happen. But I do have an entire free evening and a whole bunch of free time today, to be honest. So you never know. How am I enjoying Eye of the World? So far, a lot. I have actually tried to read Eye of the World 3 or 4 times before in the past, and I think that I barely got out of... I didn't get to Winter Night. I've never seen the Winter Night chapters before. So I think I did need that experience as a reader to get me into this sort of... into this section, into this stage of reading an ability, that sort of thing. And also, I do think that it helps that I have read more classic fantasy. So that I've read the first book in the Adan trilogy, at least, by Philip Chase, and that I have read Curse of the Mistwraith, and that I've also read 4 massive, mega long Stormlight Archive books, and that I've read all of Ryan Cahill's Bound and the Broken. I think all of those experiences have given me the reading skill, but also the patience to sit and enjoy the book and not need something to be blowing up every second. And I wonder if that is why back in 2017 I didn't enjoy Golden Sun, because the opening of that is a little slower paced, where Red Rising is pretty much all go all the time. Anyway, so I'm really enjoying Eye of the World. The next book on my list is going to be one of 2 books. Unfortunately, only one of them I have a physical copy of here today, which is Return of the Griffin by J.C.M. Byrne. And the other book is Empire of Silence by Christopher Rocchio. Both books will be read in January. That's a guarantee. I'm really, really excited for both books. My physical copy of Empire of Silence arrives today. I bought it with a Christmas present Amazon voucher. And I'm genuinely mega, mega excited to read both of these books. This one is the sequel to Wistful Ascending, which was my favourite book of my self-pub September. I mean, if you don't count Of War and Ruin, which I think I finished on the 5th of September or something, and I'd carried it over from August maybe. I can't remember. If you don't count Of War and Ruin, J.C.M. Byrne's Return of the Griffin was my number 1 book of Self-Pub September. It made it into my top 10 books of the year. I'm a big superhero fan. I'm a big Star Trek fan, or at least as a kid, Star Trek was my main thing that I loved. So Return of the Griffin, which I feel like is that hybrid of the science fiction space opera that you get in Star Trek and the superhero stories that I absolutely devour and love, is something I'm incredibly excited for. Speaking about Empire of Silence, unfortunately, yes, I don't have the physical copy. It's arriving this afternoon, but everyone has said so many amazing things about Empire of Silence that I knew I had to read it. And also because it's finishing this year, I'll get to finish it up. I'll get to finish the Sun Eater series with everybody who is a fan of the series. So I thought that Empire of Silence is a perfect book to get into in January, so that I have the whole year to catch up to whenever the last book comes out. However, I know almost nothing about it apart from that it's got a framing narrative where the character is telling you about their history, kind of similar to Kingkiller Chronicle, I believe. But again, I've not read it, and I have kind of steered clear of most videos directly about it. I've watched videos that are you should read The Sun Eater, but I've not watched anything directly about Empire of Silence, so I don't know enough about it. Ross and Laura from Hardy's Books were raving about it in Discord, so I think that it's definitely something that I want to get a look at. Definitely something I want to get a look at when I can. It's not going to be. So if I read either Return of the Griffin next or Empire of Silence next, the other one will come in a couple of weeks' time, probably, because what I'm going to be doing this month is going sci-fi fantasy. So after whatever book I pick as my first sci-fi book second sci-fi book for 2024, Prophet of Adam will be the next book afterwards, the first fantasy book. So let's talk about videos on the channel this week. So I had 2 reviews up this week, which was Harbinger of Justice and Red Rising. I also put out my January TBR and the Wandering Inn video. So all 3 videos have performed well for my channel. The Harbinger of Justice reviews actually got more views than some of my traditionally published book reviews from December. So that's really exciting for me. It's showing that people are interested in that sort of stuff. Also, my TBR's got a load of views, which is great. I think the TBR video this month is really good. I tried to limit my waffling too much, so it was a bit more of a shorter and more digestible video. I've noticed that a lot of my videos are starting to creep up in length. So I know most people prefer watching videos that are like between 15 and 25 minutes. Because I'm a bit of a rambler, sometimes my videos go over 30, and I feel like I need to start looking to target lower. So from now on, I will be trying to be a bit more concise. Next week on the channel, we do have my interview with Andrew. We're also going to have my review of Eye of the World. In case, unless something mad happens and I'm unable to finish it, we do have my review of Eye of the World. I am expecting on Tuesday to put out my 2024 goals video. So I've kind of revealed slyly, or not slyly, like I've kind of accidentally talked about those goals in other videos, but the 2024 goals that I have set up are really to try and diversify what I read personally, and also to, I think, make better end of year content for everybody. So for example, one of the goals, I'll give you a little sneak peek right now, is to read more science fiction. As you've probably seen, I've got 3 sci-fi books that I'm planning on reading. I'm hoping to have read 3 sci-fi books in January. So if you think about last year, I probably only read like 5 sci-fi books all year, unless you count Sanderson's Skyward series. I didn't read that much sci-fi last year, and I was hoping in 2024 to maybe be able to do a top 10 fantasy and top 10 sci-fi. So we'll see. I'm hoping to read also more books than last year. I looked back at Storygraph and was like, I basically only finished like 2 books in March. And I think maybe even 2 in April. So with the fact that I feel like I can probably do between 4 and 6 books a month, I'm hoping to get way more books read this year. I also need to find another series that's got lots of short books like Dresden Files and, like prop up the numbers, but we'll see. I'm not worried about finishing my Goodreads target, or I just want to have enough books read that there's a variety on the channel for people to watch and something for everyone. I'm also still going to continue the Wandering Inn this year. I will be rereading chapter by chapter and putting those on the channel. I did have a thought about whether it would be more enjoyable for me to read them per book and then come and just read a whole book Set aside a whole week for it, read an entire volume, and then come back to the channel with it. But somebody in the comments on one of my videos said that my channel is the only one that is doing a full read with chapter by chapter discussion. So I feel like I kind of have to keep that up now. I'm still enjoying it. I mean, I would not keep it up if I was not enjoying it. So there you go. So that's it. That's what I've read, what I'm going to read, what's been on the channel, what's going to be on the channel. And then finally, other stuff that I've enjoyed. I went to see Godzilla -1 this week. I won't talk too much about it, but the thing that I would say is that if you have the chance to see it, you absolutely should. It's really, really excellent. It feels like a proper meditation on like post-war Japan. It's a very emotional story. And I know you're thinking like it's a Godzilla movie, but it is. It's a really emotional, really quite harrowing in some spots. And they managed to use some of the original music from the original Godzilla as well, which is fantastic. The monster itself looks so cool. There's just so much to love about it. It looks like a model in many scenes. I don't know whether it is or isn't. There's certain times where it's doing stuff where I'm like, I know a model can't do that. That has to be CG. But it looks kind of like a guy in a suit. It looks like a model in some spots. Anyway, it's genuinely really impressive. And I really loved it. And I would recommend you seeing it massively. That's everything for today. So if you liked this video, please make sure to give it a like. If you missed any of this week's content, that's going to be down in the description, below the subscription, below the like button. So please do watch some of those videos if you haven't been able to. Also, if you would like to chat with me about what I've been reading, what I'm going to read, or if you've got anything that you'd like to see from my channel, please put that in the comments down below. And of course, please do subscribe. Every subscription counts, every subscription helps. Whenever I open the YouTube Studio app and I see that number go up, I get a little dopamine hit, and that really makes my day better. And I know it shouldn't, but it does. Anyway, thanks so much for watching, and I will speak to you next week.